Yo, far out. This place is kind of like that dream I had. So, it went like this. I ride some tram thing to like the biggest, weirdest zoo in the universe, right? Only instead of normal animals, there's dinosaurs. Totally cool. Until they all escape, just like in every horror movie ever made. Duh. Anyway, Dream Me hops into a truck with some ripped, badass dudes, and we're just like driving around, shooting dinosaurs and stuff. I felt like a legit action hero. So, I guess this place isn't exactly the same. There's dinosaurs, but I don't have guns or a truck, so I'm completely alone. But it's still just a dream, right? I mean, obviously, I don't even know what I'm writing this down. It's all in my head. All I need to do is walk off that cliff and I'll wake up right before I hit the ground. Right?
Well, we ain't in Kentucky no more, I can tell you that. Never heard of a cave this big, and sure as hell ain't heard of no glowing rocks. Even Uncle Chester'd be pinching himself if he could see this, and he thinks a tribe of mutant squirrels runs the government. Good news, I ain't in this boat alone. Bad news, I'm sharing it with a bunch of know-it-all city boys and one quiet city girl. Maybe they know what's what in a classroom, but they're all wet behind the ears when it comes to real survival. Man versus nature and all that. Looks like it'll be up to me to save the day then. Like my pappy always said, if you want a cat skinned right, do it your damn self. One of these days, I'm gonna knock Trent's flapping jaw right back to Jersey. Boy thinks the sun comes up just to hear him crow. Not that the sun rises regular like around here, but y'all get the point. And Imamu? Don't know why everyone listens to him. I'm the one putting food on the table. Back home, if we didn't hunt, we didn't eat. So I just made myself a bow and went to work. Nothing to it. At least Emilia's helped me make some tools. She's timid as a mouse, but sharp as those picks we fashion. They ought to help us get past these rock walls. Ain't too sure about giving one to that Ruski fella, Boris. But like my cousin Otis always said, keep your enemies close and a gun closer. Hell yeah, I bagged him! So there I was, stalking through the brush like a lion, or a bear, or a bear lion. Anyway, we'd come up over that rock wall a while back, so I figured I'd rustle up some supper. That's when I saw him. The biggest damn rat to ever live. I mean, this fella was so huge, his footsteps sounded like he'd turned the ground into a drum. But I caught him dead in the eye. Rat meat ain't exactly a T-bone steak, but it'll feed us for days. Bet this'll get everyone kissing my boots like they're covered in honey, even in Mamu. Like my ma's great Aunt Bessie always said, respect ain't given, it's eaten. It ain't right. I killed the varmint that pretty boy Trent was stuffing his face with, and he's still got the stones to laugh at me, just because I stumbled over my words again. So what if I can't talk like Imamu? What's Trent done? Earned some trophies playing pigskin back home? I've been keeping us alive. Still, shouldn't have made a fuss over it. Boris had to hold me back, or else I'd have... And now? Trent's avoiding me. Imamu's scolding me, and Emilia's too scared to even look at me. It's like my second cousin twice removed Ernest always said. If you lose your temper, you'd best make sure you find it. Because tempers are mighty expensive. can't stand it no more. They think I don't hear all that whispering about how I ain't stable? How I can't be trusted? Well, fine. These new caves are even stranger than before, with all the glowing and whatnot. And I bet they've got even nastier critters lurking about. If I can bag myself one of those, they'll realize I'm as trustworthy as the day is long. Maybe Emilia will even speak to me again. Like my ancestor, the great pioneer Floyd William Stafford III always said, the only way a man can be a man is if he's man enough to know when it's time to be a man. And right now, it's time for Rusty Stafford to be a man.
I will do what I must.
Oh, Rusty, you idiot. If I ever get the chance to return this journal, I want you to know that we always trusted you. We were just worried about the pressure you put on yourself. Even Trent misses you, despite all of his stupid alpha male chest thumping. Boris is the real jerk here. Everyone else wants to look for you, but he keeps insisting that it's not worth it. How can he be so heartless? It's like he's a robot or something. He hardly even seems frightened by this place. I wish I could say the same. I feel like I'm trapped in a nightmare, and each day it gets worse. Please be out there, Rusty. We need to stick together and find a way home. God, I just want to go home. How do Trent and Imamu stay so motivated? The other day, we built a series of zip lines to help us get around, and it felt like they did all the heavy lifting, even though I'm the engineering student. Compared to them, I've done next to nothing since Rusty disappeared. I'm not even good at sleeping anymore. I wake up at every sound, afraid that those wolf creatures we spotted might tear through our makeshift shelter and devour us. It's all I can think about. All the different ways we could die, and all the ways it'd be my fault. Ugh, being such a burden on everyone is the grossest feeling ever. So why can't I do anything about it? I'm still not sure how he did it, but Imamu turned one of those nasty wolf bat things into a pet. It even lets him ride on its back, and it can climb across the zip lines we set up. I think that made everyone a little more confident, so we decided to range out further in search of Rusty. Unfortunately, we found him. Poor Rusty. The first thing we spotted was a bloody shirt, and then I can't even describe the rest. Just thinking about it makes me want to puke again. Boris thinks that whatever got him might still be in the area, but I just don't have the strength to keep moving. After today, this all seems so hopeless. We're all going to die here. What did I do to deserve this hell? I tried to be a good student, a good friend, a good sister. What did I do? Those vicious little demons are still below us, waiting to rip us apart just like Imamu's pet. We managed to run to a cavern wall and climb up to this alcove using our picks. But now we're trapped. This is it. This is where we die. Boris yelled at me after we escaped. Said I'm the one to blame. He's probably right. We hadn't moved that far from where we found Rusty because I was too tired. And we didn't find a better place to hide because I was too scared and too slow. I've killed us. God help me, I've killed all of us. I've never been brave or adventurous. I was that kid who always colored between the lines and followed every rule, no matter how arbitrary. No risks, no mistakes, just good grades and a forgettable face. I'm still not brave, but I won't die like this. I won't let this gross, trembling wretch be the last version of me to draw breath. Maybe I've been worthless to the group in life, like Boris says, but my death won't be. Once I finish this entry, I'm going to stuff this notebook into the first pack I see and tell everyone to make a break for it while I lure those things away. I probably won't make it very far, but if any of you are reading this, then I guess it was enough. Goodbye. I'm sorry.
The pawn sacrifices itself to defend the king. At least Emilia Müller realized that in the end. That is all that can be said for her. The others think me callous, but this is simply the way of things. Even here amongst the demons, these rules apply. For example, the largest of the pack that slew Emilia summoned and commanded its lesser brethren. However, I do not think that was a king. No, it serves something grander. I could feel its bond, the same bond that I felt in the strange metal that inhabits these caves. It's almost like a melody of some kind, a siren song drifting up from the depths. Down there is where the true king lies, and I intend to find him. Though our numbers was once 5, only 2 of us have ever mattered. Only Imamo and I possesses the strength of will and presence of mind to discover this place's secrets. If he can discard his inner weakness, perhaps we might find it together. If he cannot, then in the end it will come to blood. The more he wastes his time comforting that brainless mule Trent, the more I fear it will be the latter. A shame, but I will do what I must. The deeper we delve, the stronger I hear the call, and I am destined to answer it. This labyrinth is mine to conquer, of nothing else have I been so certain. When I called this place a labyrinth, it occurred to me that eventually I would have to face its minotaur, though I had not expected that day to come so soon. It was a towering, savage hellspawn, with wicked claws and a tail like a great spiny serpent. We were fending off another pack of those hairless demons when it burst forth from the ground, roaring and hissing. Needless to say, we immediately fled. Yet fortune is often born of chaos, and in our haste we lost our sense of direction and stumbled upon something wondrous. A glowing metal artifact, unlike anything I have ever seen. If these caverns are the labyrinth, and that alien creature the Minotaur, then surely this is its treasure. Yes, I understand now. All of this is by design. This place, these creatures, our arrival, he orchestrated it all as a test. This artifact isn't a prize. It is simply a token, proof that I am worthy. It is the key that will unlock the path below. And at its end I will find the key. There I will find the master. Although if this is the key, then where is the door? That terminal we passed by earlier? Yes, that must be it. I need only convince the others to head in that direction, and then it is, as I said before, sacrifices must be made. That is the way of things. That is the way of the master. I said I was willing to die, and that appears to be the natural course of action. On the way back from the terminal, I was attacked by a pack of ravagers and negligently injured. I was so foolish to try and rush back. My injuries are far too severe to make it back to camp in good health. When we were scouting locations for a camp, we were malnourished. In a state of clumsiness, Rusty slipped and fell a great distance off the edge of a cliff. He pleaded with me to carry him, but I knew this wasn't a reasonable request. It would have been foolish to let his body go to waste. Now I have the same fate, although it won't all be a waste. It seems I have found a clue to unlocking the terminals. An artifact. Trent and Imamu must continue where I have failed. Unlocking the key to existence.
Not so dumb now, am I, Boris? Hope you felt real smart while you were bleeding out, bro. Imamu still thinks he could have talked the psycho down, but I say screw him. The dude attacked Imamu out of nowhere, then ran off to this weird-ass room. He completely lost it. Crazy than that, he may have been onto something. Imamu says this place Boris found might be related to that glowy thing he was constantly staring at. Something about a series of keys? I don't know. I let Imamu do the thinking. I'm the big, handsome muscle of this operation, you know? Hey, writing all this down actually feels pretty good. Think I'll do it more often. At least when Imamu doesn't need to study Boris's notes. Coach always said that the key to being a good running back is following your blockers. And my bro Imamu here, he's like my lead blocker. A real stud fullback. Sticking with him's the only reason any of us made it past day one in this place, man. He's got all this shit figured out. If we find the rest of these alien artifact whatevers, that terminal Boris found will open up a door, and we're out of here. Don't know how he knows all that. Dude's just a straight genius. We're gonna stop by checking out those buildings I spotted this afternoon. At least they look like buildings. But who would have built them? No way anyone would live in this batshit crazy place. Holy crap, I have a laser gun. An actual, real-ass, pew-pew laser gun. Okay, so check it out. Turns out there were way more of these buildings than we thought. Like a small town's worth. Whoever actually used them was long gone. Way before we got here. But they left behind a ton of sweet gear. There's even these crazy space beds that helped Imamu heal the wounds he got from Boris. Wish Emilia was here to help figure out how all this stuff works. Well, anyway, we're gonna use this place as our new home base while we go searching for these artifacts. Between Imamu's pets and these badass new guns, things are finally looking up. So far, so good. We're making tons of progress on these artifacts, and I've been feeling extra pumped lately. I think all my hype is even rubbing off on Imamu. The other day, we spent like an hour joking about who's gonna play us when we sell our story to Hollywood. Haven't seen him that chill since before we lost Rusty. Pretty soon, we're gonna head deeper than we've ever been to find the last of the artifacts. It won't be a tropical vacation or anything, but our teamwork is on point right now, so bring it on. The lasers help too. Teamwork and freaking lasers, baby! Screw these big alien things, bro! Like the giant claws and teeth aren't enough. Apparently they can stab you with their tail too. That's such bullshit. I could have totally taken it if it hadn't cheated like that. Easy. We were able to get away before it did anything worse, at least. And Imamu says my wound wasn't too bad. There was no poison either. So why do I feel like I ate the most questionable burrito of all time? I mean, damn. This really hurts. Feels like my stomach is trying to jump out of my skin. Hopefully I can sleep it off.
Where 5 once stood, 1 remains. Trent is dead, and I am alone. By the time I killed the devil that tore its way out of his body, his hazard suit had been reduced to bloody rags. It was hard to bear. Even before arriving in this place, I had seen the cost of war. But I am not like Boris, or the soldiers that guarded my family's estate. I cannot look into the face of death with cold, unwavering eyes. Yet, even in this darkest hour, I must push onward. For the sake of my fallen comrades, I will endure. However long the night, the dawn will break, and I intend to see it. Boris's notes remind me of those who still practice Vodun in my homeland. The master he speaks of is like a spirit of this land, and these artifacts are its talismans or fetishes. Perhaps these were the delusional scrawlings of a madman, but I cannot dismiss them. Despite his betrayal, Boris was no fool. I do feel something when I look at the 2 artifacts we discovered. It is most likely simple nervousness, for I am unused to carrying such burdens alone. My parents believed that royal hands should be free of calluses, so I always relied on servants for everything, right up until the moment I snuck off to college. I don't think I can ever return to that life. Not after all I've seen. My friend, your sacrifice was not in vain. At long last, I have found the 3rd artifact we sought. It took many failed expeditions, but to get lost is to learn the way. For every wrong turn, I mapped out a new part of these caverns, and now I know them as well as I know myself. I will gather my creatures and head for the terminal in the morning. If Boris's notes were right, these artifacts should be able to activate it. I'm not sure what will happen after that, but it can't be worse than the fate that awaits me here. If only the others were alive to see this day. If only I'd been able to save them too. Now that I have gathered all 3 artifacts together as I travel to the terminal, I feel a pull in my mind. No, a whisper. If this is what Boris was speaking of, then he wasn't mad after all. There is a voice here. There is a master. What is it? A spirit? A god or some alien force? Whatever it is, its presence is heavy. Though I am well rested, every time I hear it, I grow tired. My pets feel it too, and even they know enough to be afraid. My hands are shaking as I write this. Only the memory of those who died for this moment pushes me forward. Rusty, Emilia, Boris, and Trent. Lend me your strength. Let us face this final challenge together.
It's been ages since I've seen one of you. Those others, they left me up here to die ages ago.
Abandon hope! Do not seek the master! No one could prepare for his limitless power! No one could fathom his terrible majesty! I've been a fool this whole time!
You brought this on yourself!
All of us. We were nothing but fools.
You cannot defy a god.
We never had a chance of surviving this terrible place.
Honestly, what's the point?
Only death awaited us in the end. Only him.
I have plenty more where that came from.
This is a prison with no exit. It is endless hell.
I've survived more than you could ever be capable of imagining.
There is no escape from the master.
Our half-mechanical overseers called us survivors. Did you know that? They reached back to pluck us from the pages of history and then plopped us into their crucibles for their infernal tests. And here we are, to prove which of us might be worthy of restoring life to the ruin they made of our world.
There is no escape from Rockwell.
I am not a god. I am more than that. Infinitely more. I am everything. This world, this ARK, it is my body. I can feel every bit of it, every footstep of man or beast that falls upon my skin, and every root that digs into my flesh. They're all mine. Everything in this world happens only by my will. The ones who put me here have long since fled. But though I hate them, I accept their escape. It is their reward, for they placed me upon this throne. Yet should anyone else challenge me, they shall receive no mercy. My wrath will be swift and terrible, and my enemies will know only pain.
Stay with me. No. Don't leave me. Don't leave me.
Feared we would be too late. But I never expected the village to suffer such complete devastation. There were bodies and debris everywhere. I nearly retched at the sight. In the distance, I could just make out the culprit, a colossal violet figure disappearing into the cavern's depths. We raced to find Diana, but by the time we arrived, there was nothing we could do. She died of her wounds at Mei-Yin's arms, somehow still smiling. However, before she passed, she was able to tell us the identity of the monster that had done this. His name was Edmund Rockwell. I can't let Mei-Yin go after Rockwell alone. It's my fault he was here. He's my responsibility. So why am I huddled here, writing down my thoughts as though I'm too afraid to say them aloud? Mei-Yin didn't hesitate. She grabbed every weapon and able-bodied beast she could and went right after him. I've never seen her like that. Even Nerva never made her eyes burn with such hatred. Damn it. She's going to get herself killed. And it will be my fault. But how can I shoot him? He's my oldest friend. He helped me when I had no one else. But it's my fault. So I have to try. I have to.
This is where you fall to your knees, just like all the other ones.
I caught up with Mei-Yin and Rockwell among the flowing rivers of magma in the deepest pits of the caverns. where they were already in the midst of a battle. By then, Rockwell had grown into a hulking monstrosity, lashing out with flailing tentacles. I needed only one look at that hideous, misshapen face before I made up my mind. I fired until my trigger finger went numb, and together, we were able to divide his attention. In his fury, Rockwell created a hole in the cavern floor. And with one final blow, Mei-Yin forced him through it.
Don't you see? Without me, there is no future.
She nearly fell in herself, but I managed to catch her arm just in time. Thank God I did. If she'd fallen, well, I'm just glad it's over.
How dare you! You are not. I am a god. I am a god. How dare you! Hey, where have you banished me? Hate you! What is this place? Where did this place lead? What is this place? Yes, everything. The earth, the sky, every stone, every crevice, and every crevice. I feel it all. What is this place? What am I?
I am beginning to understand. It was hard to comprehend, for my eyes are still newly opened. I did not used to see as I see now, nor did I speak as I speak now. When I speak, it is not to a man. They are lesser beings. When I speak to this place, speak to the ARK, and it speaks back to me. It tells me secrets. Things that I never could have understood as I was before. It whispers to me of something greater, a plane ever higher than the one I walk now. We can reach it, the two of us, the ARK and I, together. We'll see who trapped me.
To Sir Edmund Rockwell, know that I choose to remember you, not as the monster you were in your final moments, nor as the secretive, obsessive man you became after I found you in the desert. I should have seen the signs then. If I had, perhaps I wouldn't have to mark this empty grave. This grave is for the man you were, and the man I will remember.
Miss Walker.
He was the man who I'd talk and laugh with over tea, long into the night.
Helena.
And the man who'd offer me supplies and a steed without a second thought.
This is a thief.
He was a scientist, a scholar, and gentleman.
Back to my studies.
Wherever that man is, I hope he is at peace. Your friend always, Helena Walker. The effects of the monster's rampage still linger. Mei-Yin hasn't said a word since we returned. She just stares at that starship necklace, turning it over in her hand again and again. It took an hour of coaxing just to get her to eat. At least the Gateway project survived, through one miracle or another. Santiago was organizing the survivors into teams to complete it. He thinks they can finish it within 2 weeks. I suspect I won't be welcome to join them when it activates. Not that I blame them. I brought Rockwell here with me. The people he killed, the destruction he caused, it's on my head. How could I ever ask forgiveness for that? The gateway is set to be complete tomorrow, so last night, I packed up my things and prepared to say my farewells. Santiago protested, but ultimately understood. Mei-Yin, on the other hand, I've never seen her break down like that. It caught me completely off guard, as did the part where she wouldn't let go of my wrist. She kept saying that she'd already lost too much, and that she couldn't lose anything else. I couldn't just leave after that, even if I could break free of that iron grip, which I doubt I could. So that pretty much settled it. Tomorrow, the gateway will open, and we'll touch down on the planet below. We'll finally escape this mad experiment, and we'll do it together.
Thought I'd leave a little something behind for posterity's sake, for anyone following behind us. Listen, this ARK you're on is poisoned. The whole system's breaking down. You're gonna need to do whatever you can to get yourself down to the surface. And look us up when you get there, okay? Now let's just hope this crazy plan of ours works. It can't be worse than up here, right? Oh, and we're gonna miss you, D. All I need is for people to give me some space and let me think. This is just another code that needs cracking. The Gateway project was successful. No casualties or unexpected complications, but the target location was off by 8.93 meters. I wish I could correct it.